Dear students, we were studying the chapter My Childhood, and in the last video up to 5th paragraph we have seen it, and we have got some understanding about the father and mother of A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, his childhood friends we have seen, and we have seen the traditional customs that was existing in the society of Rameshwaram, where there was no religious distinction was there. All the festivals and all together they have celebrated that, and all we have seen it. And also we have seen as a child Abdul Kalam earning his first wage from his cousin brother for distributing the newspaper and the happiness that he felt. All those things we have seen in the last video. So we will continue the chapter. Please look into your textbook, 6th paragraph. One day when I was in the 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim, and I always sat in the front row next to Ramanath Shastri, who wore the sacred thread. So one day what happened in the school, that is explained there. When he was studying in 5th standard, a new teacher came to his class, and this Abdul Kalam used to sit in the front row, and he used to wear a cap. So Muslims, they wear a white cap indicating that they are Muslims. So like that Abdul Kalam was wearing a cap, and he used to sit in the front row only along with his friend Ramanath Shastri, and he was wearing a sacred thread. You know, this Brahmins, they wear a thread across their body. So Ramanath Shastri was wearing that and sitting next to him. The new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. So this new teacher did not like that sitting arrangement. So according to him, a Brahmin boy should not sit with a Muslim boy. So at that time, there was a social ranking was there. These Brahmins were considered to be the highest caste, and these Muslims and all, they were considered to be the lower caste, and they supposed to sit in back benches and all. So this teacher asked this Abdul Kalam to go and sit in the last bench. I felt very sad, and so did Ramanath Shastri. So when in front of all the children, when he was asked to go and sit on the back bench, Abdul Kalam felt very bad and sad also, and also his friend Ramanath Shastri also felt very bad. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. So he was utterly downcast. So this Ramanath Shastri was completely depressed. Downcast means felt so sad and depressed. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. And still Abdul Kalam remembers when he was shifted to the last bench, this Ramanath Shastri was weeping, and that image is still existing in the mind of Abdul Kalam. So it created a lasting impression in the memory of Abdul Kalam. That is what he tells in that paragraph. So this paragraph is important. Okay, there can be question related to this incident. So go through it nicely and keep it in mind what happened in the class and what the teacher did. So after school we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher and in our presence told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the island. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshmana Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. So after that incident, when they went to home, these children informed what happened at school to their parents. So immediately Lakshmana Shastri called this teacher. Summoned means officially calling someone. So he was officially called, and in the presence of these children, this Lakshmana Shastri told to this teacher, don't spread the poison of this discrimination in the mind of innocent children. And he simply asked this teacher, you have got two options. One option is you apologize. Apologize means say sorry for what you have done. Otherwise, leave the school and the island. Don't remain here. Don't remain here and spread the poison of this discrimination among children. So either you apologize or leave this place. That is what this teacher was asked by this Lakshmana Shastri. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Lakshmana Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. So not only the teacher felt sorry for what he has done, but also there came a reformation. There came a change in the behavior and the attitude of that teacher. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups. However, my science teacher Shiva Subramanya Iyer, though an orthodox Brahmin with a very conservative wife, was something of a rebel. So on the whole, totally if we look at the Rameshwaram was very rigid. The Rameshwaram society was a rigid one. Rigid means not ready to change. Segregation. Segregation means keeping something separate from other things. So there were different social groups were there in Rameshwaram, and they as a whole used to remain separated from each other. But one science teacher was there, and his name was Shiva Subramanya Iyer, and he was belonging to an orthodox Brahmin family. Orthodox Brahmin family means strictly following these customs and traditions of Brahmins. And also he was having a very conservative wife, means wife also was very strict about the religious customs of their community. Was something of a rebel. That means though this science teacher was belonging to an orthodox Brahmin family, and wife also was very strict with regard to religious observance and all, but this teacher was a different one. Teacher was a rebel. Rebel means against all these traditions and customs and so. He did his best to break social barriers so that people from varying backgrounds could mingle easily. So he tried his level best to break these barriers, break these boundaries of the social setup, means having different groups, religious and caste and all that. So because he wanted that all the people should mingle each other and benefit from each other. He used to spend hours with me and would say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities. So this teacher liked Abdul Kalam very much, and he used to spend hours with Abdul Kalam, and he used to say, Kalam, I want you to develop well so that you will become equal with the people, those who are in the city and all. So highly educated people. Like that, this teacher used to encourage Abdul Kalam. One day, he invited me to his home for a meal. His wife was horrified at the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. She refused to serve me in her kitchen. Shiva Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed, nor did he get angry with his wife, but instead served me with his own hands and sat down beside me to eat his meal. So what happened is Shiva Subramanya Iyer, this teacher, took this Abdul Kalam to his home for taking a meal with him in the family. But this teacher's wife was horrified, surprised, and got a shock that a Muslim boy is being taken to their home, and in the kitchen he is going to be served food. So thinking about that, this lady was so much disturbed, and she refused to serve him, and she said, no, I won't serve this child because he is a Muslim, and our kitchen is a pure kitchen. And you know, these Brahmins, they are pure vegetarians, and Muslims and Christians and all, they use non-veg food also, but Brahmins, they are pure vegetarian. They don't even allow the people, those who take non-veg, to their kitchen and all. So in that place only, this teacher took this Abdul Kalam to their kitchen. She said, I won't serve this child in our kitchen. Anyway, this Shiva Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed. Perturbed means he was not at all disturbed, or he did not become upset. Nor did he get angry with his wife, and he did not get angry also with his wife. Instead, he served this Abdul Kalam with his own hand and sat beside him for taking the meal. His wife watched us from behind the kitchen door. I wondered whether she had observed any difference in the way I ate rice, drank water, or cleaned the floor after the meal. So while this Abdul Kalam and teacher was taking meal, this wife of this teacher was looking from far, and Abdul Kalam was just wondering whether she is finding some difference in my eating or drinking or cleaning the floor or anything. When I was leaving his house, Shiva Subramania Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. So as he was leaving that house that day, the Shiva Subramania Iyer told, next week also please come for taking dinner with us. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset. So Abdul Kalam was a bit confused to accept that invitation, because he understood that the wife of his teacher was not liking him to come to that house. So he was little bit hesitant. So by seeing that, the teacher said, don't be upset. Once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. So he said, once you decide to change some system, then you will have to face this kind of situations. Confront means face with. So if you want to change a system that is existing in the society, you will have to face like these problems. Like that is what the teacher said. When I visited his house the next week, Shiva Subramania Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. And the next week when he went with this teacher to his home, the wife of this teacher was all right. She only took him inside and served him. That means Shiva Subramania Iyer must have made his wife understand that there is no problem of taking food with a person who belongs to another religion or anything. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. Then the Second World War got over and India's freedom was imminent. Imminent means about to happen. And Gandhiji said to Indian people that Indians will build their own India. We will make our own India. And by hearing that, the whole country was filled with unprecedented optimism. Unprecedented means which never existed before. So like that, an optimism. Optimism means hopefulness. So when Gandhiji said that India will build their own India, by hearing that, people all got excited and they got a new hope for the future. And Abdul Kalam asked his father that I want to go for higher studies and I want to go to little more town area. And he asked his father permission for going to Ramanathapuram. That is the district headquarters of this Rameshwaram, and he wanted to go for higher studies, so he asked permission from his father. He told me as if thinking aloud, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? He quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. So Abdul Kalam's father told him that, of course, I know that you have to go away for growing. And he said one example also. Seagulls are birds that live near the seashore and all. And he said after certain stages of development, the seagull, they leave their nest and they fly away from the nest. That means they don't want to remain in the nest like a small baby bird. They wanted to grow. So they leave the nest and they fly away. And when Abdul Kalam told that he wanted to go away from home for higher study, mother was little bit sad about it. So this father told to mother, taking a quotes from Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran is a writer. Should not think so possessively about your children. So, okay, the children come from parents, but they should be given freedom for selecting their life. You may give them love and so on, but thoughts should not be given to them. So sometimes children, they just follow parents and elders, and they don't have their own opinion, they don't have their own thinking, and like that those who follow others, they will not become happy in their life because they don't have their own thinking, they just follow others. So Khalil Gibran is telling that you care your children, you love your children, but you should not give your thoughts to your children. Allow them to think for themselves, because they have got the ability to think and live their life. So from these words we can understand that though Abdul Kalam's father was not having formal education, but he was having lot of wisdom, maybe through reading and through life experience. Anyway, that is the end of the chapter. Hope you understood the chapter, and you must have got some understanding about the childhood of A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, a great person about whom we should feel proud. Shortly I will be uploading the important question answers from this chapter. By that time you can watch these two videos and understand the chapter, and you can write down the question answers and study. We will meet in the next video with a new chapter. Until then, bye. Have a nice day. Thank you.